This is day 221 of Zohar Pshat. And I have to preface my the learning of the Zohar day with one of the things which makes me uncomfortable very often about learning Kabbalah, which is that the negative attitude which we seem to find in the Kabbalah towards the Umas Olam, which seems to go beyond what we find in other areas of Torah. And I think that this is Rav Shimon Bar Yochai's Shita, as we know from Pshat Shabbos and elsewhere, that Rav Shimon Bar Yochai had a very negative view of the Umas Olam, and that other Tanoim did not necessarily share the same view. Certainly, it seems Rabbi Yehuda did not. But in any event, the Zohar Kodesh is Rav Shimon Bar Yochai and his Shita, and therefore it reflects his perspective. And I think that the Mekubalim, because they focus on the mystical and esoteric more than the other aspects of Torah, so therefore you're going to find this distinction between those who are more shaykh to the mystical and esoteric, by definition, the Nishmas soil, according to their way they define these things, as opposed to the Umas Olam, who don't have that connection. So therefore you have this attitude. But here, we're going to talk specifically about Gerim. And we're on Daf Chaf Hey Amud Aleph, and we are going to start 3, 6, 9, 10 lines down. So actually, we'll start from the 9th line down. That which Kodesh Baruch Hu builds worlds and destroys them, even though not Shebikudah D'Oraisa. It's those who don't keep the commandments of the Torah. And again, if you hold there's only one world, so then it's talking about in this world. In this world, the people who are destroyed are the people not Shomer Torah. If you hold like the Yisrael, which I think is some in the Zohar refers to the people who didn't keep Torah in previous worlds. But not that Hashem is going to destroy their handiwork like people think. Even though they're not Jewish. Even though they didn't have to keep Torah. Live noi. Why would HaKadosh Baruch Hu destroy his children? And even the non-Jews. I think it was what he'd say here. The HaKadosh Baruch Hu created all entities, all people with Hey, the last Hey in the Shem Hashem, but there are different levels. So the point is that he says there is the Umas Olam, and it was certainly shifting, even if before we were talking about previous worlds. Now we're certainly talking about in our world, and we're talking about, and we're saying that there's a point of all those Umas Olam who are Megayer. And presumably, if we're going cross-referencing previous worlds to this world, so they're talking about Kilgulim, and all the people of previous worlds who are Mizgalga in this world, and the ones which are Megayer are the purpose of all the Neshamas which existed, that the ones of them which are Megayer are the ones which make it all worthwhile. All the previous Gilgulim, whether it's this world or the previous world. And Behinayu Naflas Heizira Bavram. And on their account, the hay, the small hay, presumably, although there's no small hay in Abraham, it's I guess when he was made the Avhamon Goyim, so then he was given a relationship to other nations, and the other nations join with him as a result of the connection, and they become children of Ram Avinu, and that sometimes it causes a deficit. It's interesting. Derech Emes brings down here from somewhere a girsa that these 5 umos, the 5 refer to 5 types of gerim which are difficult gerim: Amalekim, Giborim, Refoim, Nephilim, and Anokim. Evidently, they are extremely difficult, and they cause, if they're Megayer, it brings down the hay. In other words, it brings down the level of the connection of the Malchus, of the hay below, and it becomes a negative influence on us, because it's like the Gerim, which later the Zohar is immediately going to address at time Moshe Rabbeinu from the Erev Rav, who if they're Megayer and they don't want to really be Megayer Lishma, are going to bring down the level of Malchus. Now, it seems that they're supposed to be part of Am Yisrael anyway. That's and it seems that the part of that hay, which is had at Avraham Avinu, is to bring these into Malchus, but still, there's pluses and minuses. They're supposed to join, but there's negative ramifications. Begina Naflas Hay Zira Davram Bel Chamishah in the 5th millennium. Duhu Hay, which is the hay. Diu Charav Yavash Charav Abayis Rishon Yavash Abayis. That's the Charav Yavash, which you spoke about yesterday. The Charav and Yavash is, he now says, is Bayis Rishon Bayis Sheni. Evidently because of the Gerim. And the Zohar Kodesh, I think, from my understanding, makes a big deal of the influence of the Erev Rav throughout the history of Am Yisrael in a negative way. To this very day, it seems, from the writings of later Mekubalim. So, therefore, the difficulties are caused by the Gerim who were from the Erev Rav, who then infiltrated and brought those corrupt midos into Am Yisrael. Obviously, good Gerim are good Gerim. And we encourage them and we want them. But so with the good Gerim, sometimes we get Gerim who are more difficult for us. And they bring us down, according to the way the Zohar understands, is explaining here. Moshe Rabbeinu, as you mentioned before, began to boil along the Gerim because he wanted to bring more Gerim. He perceived that the more Gerim, the better. And they said they're also Behi Baram, they're part of the Murotz and Hashem, the Malchus Hashem in this world. And he said, putting them to Heyav Avram in order to try and bring it back, Gormale Yerida. They caused him a downfall. Marta, like it says, Lech Reiki Shachis Amcha. It says that Moshe had to done because his nation, which Chazal say are the Erev Rav which he accepted, they're the ones who sinned by the Cheta Egel. Okay, and the Zohar is going to elaborate on this sin. So we're going to get to that tomorrow. That's Amir Hashem. So we want the Gerim. That's the purpose, the Zohar says, and that's why all the nations created in order that they Megayer Lasi Lavo, presumably, even more be Megayer. But, whoa. It's complicated. It's not so simple. It has to get into more tomorrow.